once again with a brand new Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 update here. Since there was some things happening here with the community manager leaving the project, and of course them putting out a statement of everything going on, some more tidbits about Bloodline 2 you may or may not know, as well as what they're doing in the future. So we're gonna go ahead, jump into this, see what is happening, and see what it might mean for Bloodline 2 coming very soon, since as of now they are saying it coming out this year. So let's jump into this and see what's going on with Josh, now ex-community manager for Bloodline 2. So like always, I will have the link down below so you guys can check this out for yourself. But with that being said, let's go ahead, let's jump into this and let's see what exactly is happening when it come to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2, and why if or why ended up leaving the project. Let's see.
About 2 years ago, I made a video saying how excited I was about joining the team at the Chinese room to be their community manager, specifically working on Bloodlines 2. And at that point, I'd already been working behind the scenes for about 3-4 months or something like that. And
also not counting all the live stream stuff they have done.
I'd seen a lot of the game, and now it's been a while. I have a new job. I'm going to be working with Dobro Rog Games on Clone Drone in the Hyperdome and Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, and all of their new projects. But it's hard to say that I am a little bit sad that I've left the team at TCR. I've been with the Bloodlines 2 project since the beginning. I've followed it since the beginning. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about that, because
of how long they've been in production.
Render of Lou, the ex-prince of Seattle. And so I'm going to go over some of the news and some of the things that I'm going to be doing on this channel, and maybe some of the things that I did while I was working at TCR. So maybe you can get a better idea of, where I'm at, some of my biases, and some of the things that you can expect from this channel in the future. So, like I said, I was with the Bloodlines 2 story since the beginning, and I don't know if I've told many people.
So yeah, about 2 years, huh?
One time at ParadoxCon, I was talking to the...
Man, just thinking about that, it's been 2 years of Wobbly being there. God, how many... I'm so curious to find out, if we ever find out, how many, like, reboots or relaunch or, whatever might have happened with Bloodlines. Because, like, 2 years is not a lot of time compared to, supposedly coming out this year. But we will see about that. But nonetheless, man, because if I remember right, Bloodline was announced in 2018, 19ish. So, this is gonna be a story one day.
Paradox community manager, and she said, "So you like Vampire the Masquerade? I've got something to show you." And so I signed an NDA.
Yeah, like you would.
Which I can break now. Well, not break, but I can talk about now because it's all public knowledge. The thing that I saw was the first Bloodlines trailer, and I got to see that early, and I was so excited. And then fast forward to before the announcement that TCR had taken over the development of Bloodlines 2, I got a message that was like, TCR's looking for community managers, and it seems like your expertise might overlap with what they need. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I heard they were making a thing, so yeah, sure, I'll talk about that. And so I got the job, and I got to see and talk to all of the amazing team that were working on that. I was also lucky enough to work on some of the marketing and socials for Still Wakes the Deep, which I'm immensely proud of, because that was a lot of fun. It's an incredible game, and then also, like, well, now it's won 3 BAFTAs, so
Yeah.
I helped a little bit with that. But it was really interesting.
Yeah, probably was the
seeing
bigger game from the Chinese room,
game
technically, at
from the
that point.
outside. I know a lot
Technically.
of you are here on my channel because I covered Bloodlines
Like, critically,
2 and all
anyway.
of the things that were going on with it. And then, obviously, I couldn't do that as an independent, because I was literally working for the team while I was there. It wouldn't have been right to make videos or announce news and stuff like that. But now that I'm not working on Bloodlines 2, I thought that I could make videos about the new things that are happening again. And now it's been delayed until October. There's plenty of time. And
I don't remember what the original release date was,
I'm
probably
slightly
before
biased.
October.
I worked on the game. I've got a lot of respect for
Been delayed so much.
people at Paradox, the people at the Chinese room who have worked so hard to make the game amazing. Obviously, I'm biased in that way, but hopefully, if people come here to see what I think about it, they'll have an idea of some of my history with the project. And yeah, I was really excited. So I thought we could take a quick look at the new PC Gamer cover, because Lou is the ex-Prince of Seattle, and she gets front and center. Obviously, she's
and she's still around for whatever reason.
Charismatic and commanding woman with a history in Seattle. If you don't know, Lou Graham was a real woman. She was the madam. She was an owner of many brothels, and she was an immensely rich and powerful woman who had her fingers in every single pie in Seattle. She knew the politicians, she knew the underworld, she knew the regular people. She found a workaround for
that
the
they would be
sex workers that worked
impressed
for her
and
to
use that
reduce the amount
example
of tax
for the
that they
plans.
got, because there was this weird like exemption for registering yourself as a seamstress. So all of them were like written down officially as seamstresses, which is a fun fact. That I think I learned that on like a underground tour of Seattle while I went there with the team PAX. But Lou Graham, now that she's dead, now that she's a kindred, still remains one of the most powerful kindred in the city, even though she has some particular problems.
I wonder how much of that I thought being like inspiration for. I wonder how much of that actually gonna play into the overall lore, or was it just more like implied by? Because that is interesting if that is like far beyond just the inspiration and actually like all lore going into Bloodline 2. I guess we will find out hopefully one day.
There's just this amazingly characterful image that shows her playing with the cross of St. James, which you can see a bit clearer here in the image from the dev diary, where it talks about one of the rumors that's going around in Seattle about a hunter. So there's some really awesome lore in this image that I thought I would really make sure I point out. Obviously, her eyes glow, makes her look incredibly cool. And the other important piece of news about Bloodlines 2 is that we've heard Fabian being a character that is stuck in your player character, the Nomad, Fire, in your head as a...
I'm so curious how that can operate.
And I think
like
it's really cool that I could share with you that Fabian's a Malkavian.
Yeah.
Having a Malkavian in your head seems like a really bad plan. So there's a lot of speculation about how he got there, why he's in there, what he's doing, he's also a private detective. In his life, he is a sleuth, and so having him.
I wonder, like, because they announced the Markabian thing during the PC thing, but I'm super curious to see, with them being like just a voice in your head, is that gonna actually affect like visuals on your end, or are we just gonna have a moment where it goes off into giant tangent like any Markabian does? Cause like from the little bit of the gameplay we've seen, like with him talking, he seemed pretty straight laced, but I'm curious to see if we're gonna go to anything insane with them specifically, especially as they go through the game. Like, will everyone be able to fight with a stop sign? I get we will see. Because right now, late from the gameplay that we saw, the long like 20-minute gameplay, it didn't seem like the Markabian thing really played much into the character at that point. But then again, that was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago at that point. So I don't know.
Introduce
I'm so curious though
into the modern world is probably going to smooth that transition a little bit, which is a nice dynamic for the two of them. Like, he's a little bit of a wisecrack, and it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic. Every now and again, you'll see me think like, what am I allowed to say? What's in the public? so that might be
trying to keep up with that stuff.
If I do more news videos about Bloodlines too. So now that we're caught
on
bud. The most recent
how that is
2 details, why don't I go into like a couple of the fun stories that I have from working at TCR? And I think the first one that's just really fun and cute is that when I first joined, there were some people that had played a bunch of VTM, whether it was video games or tabletop, and there were people that had played none of it, and they wanted to know more. So I ran like 5 or 6 one-shots for a bunch of different groups, and the story that I wrote was based in Seattle, based on some of the stuff I knew about the game at the time, and I ran them through this fun little introductory story where they got to meet Tolly, and I pretended to be Tolly, and showed them how roleplay works, how the tabletop game works, and how their powers work. Because man, there were so many different plans picked out. Like, I think we covered literally every single clan that wasn't like Salubrian Thin Blood.
If only.
And it was just really fun to get to know the team that way, but also like watch them experiment in the world and get to know it a little bit better. So I really, really love that. And obviously I had to do actual work, but I totally would have done way more of those. And
I wonder though, since speaking of the tabletop stuff here, is I don't know how many of you guys saw it, or maybe a high recommendation here is I think it was like a year-ish ago, there was a pack panel that did it wasn't a one-shot because it became its own thing months later, but they did like a one-shot, a semi-one-shot at PAX within the continuity of Bloodline 2. And then that ended up going into, because it had a whole bunch of people from Penny Arcade on it, because PAX, of course. And then Penny Arcade did a playthrough of like their vampire character in the continuity of Bloodline 2. So I'm kind of curious to know how much of that was like written by him, or how much of that was written by the actual DM that also, or I get Storyteller, I get technically, that also worked on like New York by Night and LA by Night. So I'm kind of curious. Like, was that a part of like the roleplay thing, like he talking about here? Or was it just like a synopsis and then got passed on, or was that 100% all the actual storyteller or storyteller that took over. So I'm kind of curious on that end. But nonetheless, go check out the Penny Arcade. I believe it. I think it's Bolton. Is it Bolton by night? Bolton by something. I don't remember. I will try to link it below if I can remember the name of it. But either way, it was a Penny Arcade thing that was tied to Bloodline 2.
And I can't remember whether this actually happened. At one point, one of the writers was like, give me your player character names and we'll see if we can find like random tiny NPCs to give those names to. So if there are strange names for like random mooks in game, then that's why. That's one of the things I'm curious about. Did that happen? It might have fallen through the cracks, but that was an idea that was had. It was really funny. Yeah, and I think I should also say thank you to all of you. Everyone was really lovely. I got to work on the dev diaries. I got to talk with people in forums and discords and
worked on some of the live streams they did.
All of these things, and everyone was really, really cool. You know, this game has been in development for a while, and people have, you know, had disappointments from delays and all of these things.
Yeah, like,
but even
like
through
6-7 years between everything from original announcement to now,
and understanding and interested in, even if they were like, I'm going to wait until the game comes out and then see the reviews and all of that, which is a totally reasonable position, right? Everyone was really cool about talking to me about the game and all of the people that I work with. So I was really encouraged. There's always going to be people that are really upset, and I understand that. But coming from a community manager position, most people were really chill, which is rare in such a large video.
I don't want to say there's like 100% the reason, but I gave it kind of a little touch on now. I kind of feel like, at least my opinion, but obviously his opinion way heavier being a community manager. But from what like I have seen when it comes to that, it seems very much from like the outside, like part of the community. It seemed like a mix of like a lot of people in the community seem to just be like, we will see, you know, type of attitude. Of just not being really like too hateful or too like down or whatnot. It seemed like everybody is very like I hope it good. We will see. I'm not, you know, like kind of like not being like invested enough to be horribly disappointed or like heavily enough to be like super toxic. But like I said, just from what I have seen and from my own point of view as well, it's just like very much with me being like, you know, like Bloodline 1, I will admit freely, like my favorite like RPG ever. At least for the American side anyway, or I get Western side, Japanese related RPG ever. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm gonna couple that. I'm gonna follow along, but at the end of the day, like if the game comes out and it ends up just being like bad to fine. Either way it goes, I think I will be 100% okay with it, because at least it's all the light of day. And also, I think also in the back of my head is if the community from Bloodline 1 is there, any of the game comes out and say it go the same way as the fourth game did, at least the community should be there to pick up the pieces, hopefully. But at the end of the day, at this point, I'm me included, just kind of like, I'm hoping for the bet, but, you know, I'm not putting that much hope into it beyond, you know, just being a fan of the original game with Bloodline 1 and also being a fan of Vampire the Masquerade as a whole. So I'm kind of in the camp of, just like hope for the bet, but we will see. So, but I think that helps a lot for the chillness of it all, because, you know, everybody is kind of just like, just waiting to see what happens.
Video game community, from speaking from experience, and yeah, I just really enjoyed talking to people. I got to like record videos for the dev diaries. I got to get screenshots and write things up and help the developers write things up, so they were in a very written out in a really understandable way. And just working with Paradox team, or I guess the World of Darkness team, and TCR was a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of cool stuff. There might be a couple of things in the video game that I made. I probably shouldn't tell you what they are, because I don't think they've been announced. And even if it's not the kind of thing that gets announced, I should probably wait until the game comes out to say it. But I made things that will appear in the video game, and I literally can't wait for you to see them. Like, it's not huge, but it's just really nice to have my own fingerprint on the game.
Yeah.
And I was proper chuffed
Probably not
to be able
have
to do that.
when they allow,
So maybe once the game is out,
people outside of, like,
do a,
full-on dev
Blue
site,
Sky. They're not
to put
anymore.
up in.
I'll do a Blue Sky, a bleat, and tell people where to find my stuff. So here we are, back again with me on the outside looking in, and hopefully being able to make news update videos like I used to. Hopefully with everyone's knowledge that I worked on this thing, and I'm pretty biased towards it because I think it's cool. Aside from that, Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, Ben's been working on it for multiple years.
New books coming out, which I would absolutely love to cover. It's the Ancilla book. Is that what it's called? I can't remember what it's called, but there's one about Ancillas, and obviously new powers, and I will hopefully be able to review that book for you. But I'm also deep in the hole of Trench Crusade, and this is my kit bashing and modeling gear behind me with paints and glue and everything, and I am going to be making shorts about the Trench Crusade models that I'm making, as well as hopefully being able to do some lore videos. I know there are already a lot of lore videos, but I feel like I can introduce people to that world in a really unique and interesting and fun way. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing Vampire. I'm going to be doing maybe modeling, painting in general. And yeah, we'll see what the future brings. But I'm just really excited to be back on this channel, to be making more things. And so I hope you're excited as well. Yeah, let me know in the comments where you're at for Bloodlines 2. Are you?
I guess I just always give my opinion.
Are you cautious? Like, how do you feel about the October
I will play it no matter
release?
what happens. Good, bad, ugly.
And how do you feel about Trench Crusade? That's what I want to know. Is if I make it, will you come? Because I'm definitely coming to I'm definitely going to make videos and models. So I hope you enjoy that. Anyway, if you want strange adventures, then come with me on a strange adventure. I've never figured out how to do like a cool sounding sign off. Don't be a stranger. That's the last one I used. Subscribe if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe if you want to learn more about Bloodlines 2, Vampire, Trench Crusade, and all of that jazz. Until next time, goodbye.
But there we go. There's some little bit of information now. Some of the stuff in there I actually talked about were kind of interesting, especially with like the lore stuff. But yeah, this is like one of them situations of like we will see what comes up here in the future. Since what the Paradox / Chinese Womb thing, or did they leave to sounding like they always landed on their feet? So either whatever the reason they left the project, hopefully whatever they work on next, that they talked about at the beginning, which all the success there, and all the success to you with your model kits and everything. And if I saw the glue in the background, I thought it was Gundam. My Gundam brain, they wanted to do Gundams, but nonetheless. Once again, I will have the link below so you can go show your support and keep up with not only the kit bashing, but also the Vampire stuff as well. Yeah, good luck to you on your next project. And also thank you for the update. I do appreciate hearing more about Vampire stuff. Any of they come a little out of the blue for me. But nonetheless, we will continue talking about Vampire because, I love me some Vampire the Masquerade, and we will see what comes from all of this. So, description. I have a link to their account. Give them some love. Also, while you're down there, be sure to follow, subscribe, hit all the bell. Come on over to our live stream that I do every single night starting around 8 p.m. Central. Right now, we may or may not be on a Dark Soul kick and it a whole thing. We on Dark Soul 3. I'm trying to play every From Software game before, oh, not every, but every Soul From Software game before the new Elder Ranked Up comes out. We will see if that happens. But nonetheless, I am on Dark Souls 3 right now. So come on over, say hi. And like always, I will be back with more vampire videos as we get more and more information and hoping for the best. Luna is also ready. She's ready to be our little mimic that's going to help us out in the vampire journey come October. He'll hope to hit that date. So to keep up with more Bloodline 2 information, do all the bell stuff. So for now, though, I am out and about, and I will go ahead and see you in the comments.